and Nathan doesn't seem to hear me.
He is hearing you because I'm sitting in here with him.
Okay. So Matthew, you can start.
All right, this is Matthew Holmes, and this is the Board of Electrologists and Body Arts Practitioners meeting. Is convening at 2:03 p.m. on June 6th, 2022 at Health Licensing Office in Salem, Oregon by telephone conference call. I will now call roll. Matthew Holmes, present. Lisa Chambliss.
Here.
Audrey Jones.
Here.
Ryan Othis.
Here.
Members, when you wish to speak, please state your last name for the record. For the record, public members calling into public phone line are asked to email April Fleming at april.fleming@dhsoha.state.org.us and provide your first and last name. Public and interested parties' feedback may be heard during the public/interested parties feedback period if indicated on the agenda. Everyone is asked to use appropriate language, manners, and protocol when conducting board business. This meeting is called to order.
So if you want to get approval of the agenda, sorry, Bob.
Go ahead. You're rolling it.
Where do I have that? I was just looking at it. So do we just make a motion for that? Is that how that goes?
Yep.
Yep.
And am I allowed to do that since I'm chairman?
Nope.
Didn't think so. Yay, I was looking for stuff I don't need. Ha!
This is Lisa Chambliss. I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Lisa. Give you a second.
This is Ryan Othis. I second that.
Excellent. Now I have something I'm supposed to read. Motion.
I'll roll, please.
A second. A motion has been made. I'll call the roll. I've got so many tabs open at the same time. This is the worst way to do this. Matthew Holmes, aye. Lisa Chambliss.
Aye.
Audrey, oh gosh, where did it go? There we go. Audrey Jones. I am so sorry, you guys.
Aye.
Ryan Othis.
Aye.
And everybody says aye. I don't have a conclusion to that. Do we say yay? I like yay.
I will just take over then. So you guys were all sent the materials for adopting the rule that changes the requirement to have hot and cold running water source in all facilities and not just new ones. So we had a hearing on the 17th, and I had 3 people attend via phone. 1 person from Piercing Pagoda, 1 from SLEDX, and Cynthia Mendoza, who used to be a school owner for electrology. I'm not sure she still is involved with that. And they all thought it was a necessary rule to have a hot and cold running water source in facilities. But my job is to bring you the rule as you approved it when you proposed it a few months ago, and then bring you what public comment was and the hearings officer report. And I have now done so. It's your job to weigh those things, weigh what they said. You have to consider what they said as far as not thinking it's required or should be required. And then you just move forward on how you want to move forward with the rule. There's one thing that you could change or consider is the requirement date starts July 1. You could move that back a little farther. I think that everybody knows this is coming, so I don't think it's going to be a surprise. But if you wanted to take, a position of a little more leniency, you could push it out to August 1st, or it's really the board's purview how they want to handle that. But really, it's comes down to public protection, having that hot and cold running water in case of an emergency available on the premises. So, and it is what the board intended back in 2018-19. I just screwed that up. So I'm here to fix it. So any comments about that?
This is Matthew Holmes. I actually did read through pretty much everything that was sent in public comment. I mean, some of it was a little long, so I kind of skimmed it. But to me, it seems like the vast majority of the complaint and resistance to requiring people to like legitimately wash their hands and not supplement with hand sanitizer is a mixture of there's no blood in an ear, and that it's going to cost them a lot. And I mean, personally, I take issue with that. Like any piercing, anything that penetrates skin, you have the risk and potential of dealing with blood. So this whole like ear piercings don't have blood, we're not dealing with blood because it's only an ear, that like just really grates at me. To me, that would imply that they don't seem to understand like what they're doing. And cost thing is irrelevant to me. Like cost, if it is a cost of public safety, then it is a cost of operation. And if you've been getting away with not doing that before and it's time to change, they've had 4 years notice. I don't really want to hear it. I don't really want to listen to that, but I will listen to the rest of the board's opinion. And if someone else can, bring me something I'm not thinking of, see something that I'm not seeing, I'll hear everyone out. But personally, I do not see any reason to change our stance and what we're intending on doing today. And that's my soapbox. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, this is Ryan Othis. I concur. I'd second that. I'm reading through the comments again right now, and I don't know. I probably wouldn't have taken such a fervent stance on maybe picking apart some of the language, but I agree. It doesn't seem like there should be too much of an issue just going along with this myself, because there has been such time as to prepare and possibly make well-formed thoughts and arguments against it. And I don't see anything that's striking me as being greater than what the public safety would be on one side versus the other. So.
This is Audrey Jones, and I agree. I definitely think that when you're piercing the skin, and even if you don't see blood, there's blood. There should be definitely access to hot and cold running water.
This is Lisa Chambliss, and to wash your hands before possibly touching a wound or open skin break is important. So regardless of blood, there's still an opening. You should have clean hands.
This is Audrey Jones, and I totally agree.
Do we make motions from here?
Yes, you can make a motion at any time. My dog is going to bark.
So I'm going to take a stab at this then. This is Lisa Chambliss. I make a motion to approve the drafted language to include sinks and with a time frame of July 1st.
This is Ryan Othis. I second that.
This is Matthew Holmes. A motion has been made. I'll call roll. Matthew Holmes, aye. Lisa Chambliss,
Aye.
Audrey Jones,
Aye.
Ryan Othis.
Aye.
Motion has been passed.
Okay, great. So I will get those filed with Secretary of State. This is Sammy. And it will go effective July 1. And the reason it's a little longer than I would have liked is that you have to give legislators 49 days to review it. So I have to meet that timeline, but it still lines up with our July 1st date. We did receive an email today from, I'm going to pull it up. Reform Oregon Tattooing. Get that right. They didn't say they wanted it read at this meeting, but I feel like it was implied. So I'm just going to read it and then let you know that Cerinthia responded to part of it. And then I think they might be on the phone line to make comments. So are you guys okay with me just reading it real quick?
This is Matthew Holmes. I think it's a great idea.
Okay. We have heard from several artists looking to get their licenses via reciprocity lately, and the exam process seems to hit a significant bottleneck. It seems the time is taking to wait for the exam far exceeds the amount of days available via the guest license, 90 days. This places artists and shops in precarious positions when incomes are on the line. We are aware that there needs to be a rack to overhaul electrolysis, and the rack and racks that hold body art practitioners is much needed as well. Both electrology and piercing are reaching a point where they can't get new licensees due to problems with their current programs. Is there any possibility or plans of hiring more staff to deal with the backlog of getting people exam times and assisting with these programs to get help they need? We're unable to attend this meeting, but we'll be listening via conference call and attending in the next meeting. Thank you for your time and consideration. Olivia Jesse Toma from Reform Oregon Tattooing.
Hi there.
And Cynthia did reply
Oh, sorry.
to their questions about the body piercing exam, that they have added 3 dates to that the practical exam to help with that. So that's all I have to say.
Hi there. This is Ryan Othis. I think the statement that was made in the email is a bit ambiguous. Because I think, like, and I'm probably leading into this, they're trying to find quality people, or at least in their opinion, what quality is, to be able to get their license in a more streamlined manner. And I don't know, like, is there a want or a need to open up special sessions for testing for specific people if they meet a certain criteria when they're going to be going to, like, get their license? Or is this just like, what's the statement? Like, there's not enough testing. I don't understand what that means, really.
So this is Cynthia. So basically they think it's bottlenecked because the individuals that are coming, even though they qualify, can't get in to sit for the practical exam. So what we did is we have added those additional 3 examinations to the practical examination. So we have a total of 6. So we've doubled the number of practical examinations administered by the office. So.
Okay, this is Ryan Othis. Thank you, Cynthia. That's cool to hear. Do you know if they have a response back on that, or is this just very, like, today recent?
It's today recent, and I have not received a response after I responded to her.
All right, roger that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Matthew Holmes. I actually really appreciate people chiming in. Like if they're experiencing an undue like bottleneck or restriction to access for licensure, I definitely see that as a problem. And if you guys have already jumped on like doubling the amount of tests per year, I really hope that makes a noticeable difference. I'm really curious to see what Reform Oregon Tattoo group, committee, whatever they refer to themselves as we'll have some feedback for that if they think that's enough, or if they think that that's too lackluster, or maybe they might have an idea of how to fix it or what sort of scheduling they're aiming for. Might help us expedite a response to them, whether it's even feasible or something that we can literally just implement within a short period of time.
This
And I
is
believe
Audrey.
that's-
Sammy. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry,
I believe
Sammy.
tattoo
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
testing is first come, first served now, back to the old way, right, Bob? For tattoo testing?
Yeah, now that COVID is way down, our facility here at HLO is full, the testing is full. Now it's first come, first serve, show up in the morning.
Yeah, so that shouldn't be a
Well.
hindrance if they get here first.
That'll show who's motivated, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, so you get the cosmetology in here, they can sign up for 4 tests.
Oh, wow.
So that can take the better part of the entire day, one station down. And we have the stations, so they just need to come in and do it. And if they're talking about the practicals, how many people show up for practicals in a day, Cynthia?
I believe that we have up to 6 in a day.
And
That's a
Cynthia,
big
how
change
many
from the beginning of the
practical exams? Yeah, how many practical exams were we offering like a couple months ago before changing things? And how often?
We did not stop the practical exams. We continued with practical exams.
Oh, okay. So with the practical exams, you're just waiting for people to sign up and then schedule them?
Yes, business as usual with the practical exams.
Gotcha.
I saw, this is Bob. I saw Tina Russell, the licensing manager, with her hand up. Tina, is your hand still up?
Yes. So one of the problems that we're having with the practical exam is we only have a certain amount of time. We're limited on the practical for the day that they were initially scheduled. That's probably one of the reasons why Cerinthia went to extra days. But one day is not cutting it for these practicals. We're having to go into a 2-day practical, which the place where we have them at is not always available. And so then we have to wait for the other half of individuals to take it 2 weeks later or a week later and do another full day. So you're paying for 2 days of a facility, a week to a week and a half apart. And Cerinthia can jump in here if I'm incorrect on that. But I know that a couple of practicals, because we've had too many, because they're having to do 2 piercings at a time, has made us go into 2 days of practical, a week and a half apart.
So this is Cerinthia, and Tina, you are correct. And one of the things the office is doing at this point is looking at the body piercing examinations and training programs on a whole. In 2021, we met with the committee, and they are looking at and made recommendations for revisions to the number of hours. The health licensing office is looking at the practical examination and looking at ways to streamline that practical examination. In addition, the office, well, currently is rewriting the written examination, but we are also looking at online testing for individuals for the written examination. So as a whole, we are looking at a lot of different avenues for the body piercing program to reduce barriers for licensees.
We're also looking at HLO as a whole, looking at practical examinations and their necessity. Are they adding any, public safety to them getting a license? Is it really holding someone to a standard in a couple-hour timeline? We have lots of professions that don't do practicals. And so we're definitely looking at that for electrology. It's definitely on the plate for that. And then we're just kind of going to roll it out as we go through professions. So tattooing doesn't have a practical. So, you got to consider, does piercing need one? Does all these other ones need one? So it's something that we're also looking at to streamline and get people working quicker.
This is Ryan Othis. I guess the second question on this would be that the RAC committee, is there any timeline for when the tattooing RAC is supposed to be getting back together?
So yes, I should. This is Cerinthia. I will be meeting with them probably in September again to move forward with that tattooing examination.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Tina. And like we said earlier, the tattoo exam isn't holding anybody up now that we are open. They're able to come in on Monday through Friday and sit for that exam.
This is Bob. Is there anything else from anybody? Any more comments on this?
This is Matthew Holmes, none from me.
Yeah, none here. This is Ryan, sorry.
And Bob, Oregon Reform might be on the call. I don't know.
They are not. There's nobody on the call. On the public phone.
Okay, they just didn't specify what meeting they were going to log on to, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah. No, I've been paying attention to it, and there's nobody on the phone.
That's all I have. This meeting can now be adjourned.
Yeah, there's
Oh, wow.
there's no public interested parties on the phone. So we can skip number 3, and if there's any other board business.
This is Matthew Holmes. None that I'll take up the time of the board with. I've got random questions, but I can just call you guys on a not everybody call. It's easy enough. They're just stupid, random, arbitrary things. Have nothing to do with the board. Just know I have all you captive at the moment.
Yeah, don't hesitate
This is
to
Audrey. Oh, sorry.
send us an email, Matthew.
Will do. Will do. Yeah, no problem.
This is Audrey. Sammy, did that letter I wrote about electrolysis get sent out to everyone?
No.
Okay, 'cause I know that someone had requested it at the last meeting, asking to
Yes,
kind of explain what's going on, and
I
I didn't
will
want anyone
have
to
a
think I left
draft
them hanging.
for their July meeting. I plan on having it all a big piece of the puzzle once you guys have your that first qualification meeting, and I'll have it all in a package for everyone.
Cool.
But yes, I do have it.
Awesome.
All right. Well, if everybody's happy, I'll read through the meeting adjourn.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, this is Matthew Holmes with the Board of Electrologists and Body Arts Practitioners meeting, and it is adjourning at 2:24 on June 6th, 2022. Thanks for your time, you guys.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye, guys.
everybody.
Have a good one.